Got two new guns, just covered the new AR, and now we got the new shotgun, the 725. This double barrel may only have two shots, but the range and how hard this gun hits almost makes it worth it. I think there's still definitely better shotgun choices like the M870. That gun is just broken and needs to be nerfed immediately, and I would much rather use the auto shotgun. I just wanted to throw that out there for people looking to use their coins. Just make sure you invest in this gun if you want to use a double barrel shotgun. Not because it's a meta choice or anything. Not saying it's not strong. It definitely is. It just hurts only having two bullets. So if you really enjoy a secondary, this would definitely be a good option because you just jump in, get your two shots, and then switch back to it. And whether you like to hip fire or ADS mainly, I will cover both. I'm only changing one piece, and I'll cover that. That is actually the suppressor. And what the suppressor does is it improves your spread. So as we can see here, very tight. Even when we hip fire, decently tight. But this piece isn't really that necessary. That's right, I said it. If we unequip this, let's take a look. First of all, our ADS got even better. Like a lot better. It's an instant. So let's see the spread now. Still really good. Like, obviously it's not as good. It's almost identical, man. Like, I feel like you can really get away with not using that piece. As long as you're using the right barrel. The double barrel shotgun. Falcon long barrel. That is a long name. This is where all your range and that amazing spread comes from. We have 501 muzzle velocity for a shotty. Pretty nuts. So that's why the bullets actually travel. And let's show these calibrations, because they're definitely interesting. We're going with muzzle velocity to keep them going, and then we went with ADS movement speed, because I really don't feel like you need control with a shotgun build, especially when you have two bullets to shoot. So let's cover these patches and rails. Specifically on the right rail, this is where I put my laser, and this is a really good way to ADS as well, literally almost instantly. It'll always be this fast. It's not as easy to use as the red dot sight, but with this, you can really calibrate everything to all control, 0 ADS speed, 0 handling, and just use this instead. The main reason we have it on this build, though, is these effects right here. That -4 handling is only when you have the laser off. So that's what it's accounting for. What it doesn't tell you is, besides the effects, you're gaining all this. Your hip fire is tremendously better whenever you have a laser on. As we can see here, we're already at 75. So our spread from the hip is incredibly good. And that effect, of course, isn't even added here, so it's better than what we see. So that's pretty neat. For the left rail, you could definitely go with the flashlight here. Don't put another laser on because the effects do not stack. If you want, though, feel free to throw a flashlight on if that's your thing. And then for these three pieces, we got Hornet handguard panels. And that increases your accuracy, aka hipfire, by 4 per piece. So that's how we got it so high. Let's move on to this foregrip here. We got the competition hand stop for that maximum accuracy, which the only piece that comes close is the ZFSG, which actually ties it in accuracy, but gives you less handling. Since this is an automatic shotgun with a lot of bullets, I really don't feel like there's a need to go with the ZF. So instead, we just go with the hand stop. We got ADS speed and stability when moving, because I feel like, once again, you don't need control, but stability when moving is definitely still going to be important here. As we can see, movement stability, 0.73, which for like an assault rifle is pretty mid, honestly. For a shotgun, you know, that's pretty good. It's not bad. I love the look of this gun, holy. I feel like the default looks so good. It's because of the stock, for sure. This stock gives you accuracy, unlike the shotgun watch thing. This will just slow you right down, and I just feel like isn't necessary whatsoever. This piece, it gives you everything you want in a shoddy build, speed and hipfire. And then we crank this to hipfire aim speed, which is just ADS speed and nothing else. When you affect this calibration, you can see it change in your details if you look at your ADS speed. And here's an interesting one. I went with aiming stability while breathing. And why would I do that? Well, I'll tell you. Because aiming and all that, whatever I was talking about, all it affects is this right here, what we're looking at. See how it's moving? the lower your stat is, which I can show you where, the worse it gets. So thankfully it'll actually show us, even though we're in the build menu. Won't show us these stats. Current breath sway range, 0.28. You can see exactly how this is affected here. Red box is when you're out of breath, which is never going to happen to you. You're not holding breath with the shotgun. The white box is pretty much the only thing you're really going to be dealing with. So don't even worry about the green and red one. The white one is what you're going to use to gauge. So definitely an interesting turn there. Now let's move on to the optic. Definitely wouldn't say you need this, because it kind of ADSs awkwardly, but this is how we got it to not even 313. That's good, right? But we actually have, let's take a look. We throw this on, that's lying. Handling, it's actually around 280. So feel free to just throw on a red dot and call it a day. But for the sake of the ADS, we're going with multi-purpose tactical riser. And then we're slapping the micro peen riser. Then we got the sight. Panoramic red dot. This is clean. Very clean. And I highly recommend this. I show this in every video, but this is definitely necessary here, because this will make a shotgun feel 10 times better. You don't want to zoom in when you ADS a shotty. You just want to be able to crank it, you know what I mean? But anyways, we crank these to the left. The zoom affects your actual sight. Bottom bar affects how close you are to the gun. Then we go to the game settings, and make sure this is on. Scope magnification adapts automatically. So now when you're in those crazy close range engagements with multiple people, you don't have to worry about your FOV zooming in and having to account for all that on top of a stressful situation. So yeah, when it comes to this build, really just go to the range and experiment with the suppressor and then without it, and really see what's going to work for you. And then try them both out. You can always just have two builds. And then if you're not feeling the one that you're using in game, so I have voice crack. You can right click on the gun when you're in the selection screen picking where you want to choose. Is that another one? Holy shit. So yeah, you can just switch up and not have to leave the entire game just because you don't like the build. No matter what you choose though, I feel like this is the maximum potential for the 725. And now I have some highlights for you guys. I was low-key losing my mind a little bit in the shotgun LTM. Everybody was beating me up with pistols and the M870. I was just trying to have a good time with the new gun, man. Be sure to join the Discord for future and early builds, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out. Night. This thing is so ridiculous.
Huh.